City Shul is a synagogue that is only a few years old. They started as an adult education program, and bit by bit they were doing more and more, and they thought, maybe we could have a shul of our own.
It's like we're not sort of Jewish. We're not Jewish. We're really Jews. And we really celebrate very fully, with a very full identity. So it's not like, there's this group of Jews and they're going to talk about universal love and there's not going to be any issues. No, here's a group of Jews who don't want a Christmas tree in the sanctuary, at a bar mitzvah in December.
As many synagogues, they have many, many more people on their high holidays. So they formed the habit of taking their high holiday services into a larger space. They were at Trinity St. Paul's for a number of years, and then one year that wasn't going to work, so they asked us if by any chance they could come here. And they came here for, I think, 3 or 4 years, and then began to say, I think their congregation was just getting a little too big for the space they were in.
We actually made the move to Bloor Street United. We literally visited over 100 locations in downtown Toronto. Quickly realized that without major financial backing, that buying a property in downtown Toronto or even renting it full time was going to be just cost prohibitive.
So we'll just talk about it, right? I'll be honest with you, there were some churches in which we, even in the interview process, we didn't feel loved. We really just did not feel the love. It was like, yeah, you're very interesting and exotic Jewish people, and you're going to be a hassle for us. And then in a couple of churches, we felt that they were just big and overwhelming. And then we had come here for the high holidays, and it felt like home.
We have been holding our high holidays here for a number of years, and the BSUC people have just been so nice about it. It's very easy to be dismissive of people who have a different tradition, especially when that tradition seems kind of alien.
On our part, the trepidation is very complicated because we have historic reptilian Jewish brains, okay? We remember, as if it was yesterday, being herded into medieval churches to hear haranguing sermons about how we were a false religion of the devil and how we should convert. That's our memory. That's our historic memory, not yesterday's memory, but that's a historic consciousness of being in a church. And there was a lot of pushback from some congregants, more traditional congregants. The feeling of, are we safe? Can we really be ourselves here? Can we wear our yarmulkes and feel at home here? And, can we use our Hebrew? And can we have our Israeli programming? And, can we really be, as I said, not Jew-y, but not Jewish, but Jews? And we had to do a lot of conversation talking about that and a lot of sharing.
I think that there are, within the church, there was a big segment who were profoundly enthusiastic, just as a kind of ecumenical thing. I think there was a segment that was concerned, what would it mean? And that just took some time to get folks to know each other and to feel comfortable about whether or not they would be able to use the space and access the space as they always had.
I think that our congregations share a number of key things that make us similar in a larger sense. So social justice is really important to both congregations, and it's very important to both of our religious movements as well.
For the most part, the sacred space that we have works very well for them. However, we have a very large cross right at the front of the sanctuary. And although the cross represents healing and redemption for us, it is a very painful memory of many hundreds of years, even thousands of years of oppression and pain for them. And so the question was, would there be a way that our cross could be covered up, not taken away, but covered up?
And happily, we have some very talented folks in our congregation, some of whom have been in the professional theater world for their careers, and quickly came up with what is a beautiful tapestry of the Ten Commandments in Hebrew.
I think originally we used a very high-strength fishing line, and that didn't work. Everything came crashing down partway through. So ended up using a very strong aircraft cable, very thin, and it's there permanently, but you can't see it from the congregation side.
So we cover the cross, and then the ark has to come out. It's on wheels, so it comes out to the front. It becomes a synagogue. It's pretty miraculous.
The rabbi for a while would say we're going to Shulurch because she was combining shul and church. I never, ever, ever, ever think of it as I'm walking into a church now to go to synagogue. That's not what it is. I'm walking into my place of worship.
It's really practical. You guys use the building on Sundays. We use the building on Saturdays. It's great.
The day that City Shul arrived with its Torahs, there was a lot of noise. It was really fun and wonderful, and we were all in a great mood.
We had a nice parade, which is always great. Who doesn't like a parade?
I thought, wow, this is a really historic moment for Jews and Christians, like to feel that safe.
And we sang together. And we sang to say that, to ask God to make me a sanctuary, make us a sanctuary.
You know, I think of the people in my family who fled persecution in Europe, to have a place and a space where we proudly share space with another Christian faith that welcomes us, but that our sign is proudly and safely on Bloor Street West in downtown Toronto.
This is my advice to anybody who wants to try for this kind of partnership in a building. Just as long as you see yourselves as two teams playing together rather than two teams playing in opposition, I think it's actually very doable.
We have a joke that BSU, which stands for Bloor Street United, stands for Bruche, Simke, Utstake, which means blessing, happiness, and justice.